Hey, YouTube, it's Snowy Snivy, back with a Fate's Day Night after a month of inactivity. Or, not a month, several months of inactivity. I'm really sorry about that. Once again, for some reason, this ended up deleted from my computer and I never got around to it, but really that's no excuse because I hadn't uploaded anything in months, and that was ridiculous. I apologize. I'm gonna try and be a better YouTuber though. If you saw my last video for my Katawa Shoujo Let's Play, then you would see my full apology there. But I managed to just now get back to the place where I think we left off. Where, Rin's being a slave driver to poor Archer, making him clean up that mess that essentially she caused. Oh, Rin. Anyway, so let's get back to this. See how those chores turn out. The day of fate comes to a close. Now, this night is the start of fate. There are 6, including myself now. Once the last one summons a servant, the 7th one who is not yet a master, this Holy Grail war will commence. It's not far ahead. The battle I've waited 10 years for is about to commence. Yeah. By the way, is anybody else like so happy about the new Fates Day Night anime? It is looking amazing so far. I mean, it's not as good as Fate Zero in my opinion, but it's a definite improvement on the last Fates Day Night anime. So much better than the movie for Unlimited Blade Works. Just, it's visually stunning, and oh my god, all the characters. Ryder, I love Ryder, even though she died. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert, even though Ryder died, I'm really happy I got to see her on screen, and I'm really happy for the Heaven's Feel route, which if I remember correctly, we get to see a lot more of her in. So I can't wait for the Heaven's Feel movie. If it's anything like how Unlimited Blade Works is going right now, it is going to be amazing. So anyway, the Holy Grail War is a great ritual which has been practiced for hundreds of years. If one enters the ritual, one must eliminate the other 6, as it is a battle for one's life. I don't know when the Holy Grail War began. It is said that the Holy Grail is in the land of Fuyuki, and that many magi have fought each other here in the past. They had only one purpose: to obtain the noble phantasm called the Holy Grail. But the origin of the Holy Grail is unknown. It's certain that it never received the blood of God, but its power matches that of one in the legend. Yes, it is said that the Holy Grail can grant any wish. Only one has the right to possess it. The Holy Grail can only grant one wish for one person. But 7 magi are needed to summon the Holy Grail in this land. 1 miracle, 7 collaborators. Well, the point is, it was only a matter of time before a fight broke out over the Holy Grail. By the way, does this seem a little off to anyone? I don't know if I'm missing something, but like, okay. If you summon servants that also want a wish from the Holy Grail, then wouldn't it need to give out two wishes? One for the mage and one for the servant? Otherwise, why are the servants fighting alongside the magi? Doesn't make sense to me, because they each all have their own wishes. But whatever, maybe I'm missing something. If someone knows that, then just comment and tell me. Snowy Snivy, you're being stupid. It's blah blah blah. So don't be afraid to tell me. It began like an ordinary fight over resources. The 7 magi used the power of the Holy Grail equally to summon a familiar, a servant, to battle the other magi. Only one magus could obtain the Holy Grail, and so each of them treated the other 6, once allies, now as enemies, and a gruesome fight began. This is the ritual called the Holy Grail War, a competition between magi for the Holy Grail. The magi chosen by the Holy Grail are called masters, and each master receives a powerful familiar called a servant by the grace of the Holy Grail, blah blah blah. Haven't we already seen this? See, that's the one thing about this visual novel, it repeats so much, and it's got a bunch of other stuff that's kind of, I don't know, not even necessary. 2 proofs to 1 is a master, summoning a servant and making it obey, and obtaining the 3 command spells that can order the servant. The first goes without saying. A few hours ago to be exact, I summoned Archer to be my servant. That leaves only the second. I must protect to the end this command seal that binds the servant. For a master, this is probably the most important thing of all. Awesome. The pattern inscribed on my right hand after summoning Archer? This is the command spell. This holy sign granted by the Holy Grail is the proof of a master who has summoned a servant. This mark with concentrated magical energy is an instantaneous thing, not an internal one, or eternal one. It is consumed by use, and as the appearance suggests, it has 1 use for each strike. In other words, only 3 times. A master who loses all 3 command spells will be unable to control their servant and faces death. So, the command spell must be guarded as closely as one's life. It hurts my head to think that I've used 1 right at the start, but it wasn't completely meaningless, so I'll call it good. Because it's not unusual for servants to go against their masters. I'm fortunate to have been able to chain him using 1 command spell. And just 1. Well, that's the gist of it. The Holy Grail War will start from the 7 servants who are all summoned. I can't just sleep in. I don't know when the last master will appear, but it could be soon. Or sorry, it should be soon. I'm so tired. Looking out of the window, dazed, I notice the sun's already way up. Glancing at the clock, I confirmed to myself that I'll be skipping school today. That does not sound dirty at all. I sit up in bed and take a deep breath. I'm not just tired because I'm not a morning person. Like Archer said, a master who's just summoned their servant cannot function satisfactorily.
そうだった。私、Saberじゃなくって、Archer。
Such a pessimist. I can remember clearly. Well, it's not something I want to remember, but even if I don't like it, there's no second chance. Oh, Red! It's just a different class.
魔力が戻るまで1日ちょいか。
No crying over
今日は
spilled
鳴ら
milk.
し運転ってことにしよう。
I slowly climb out of bed. I can fight a bit against the unseasonably warm air and my desire to stay wrapped up in my blanket. I knock out the desire to go back to sleep in the third second of the match and check myself in the mirror. Nothing's obviously wrong, except for the fact that I have only about half the usual magical energy in my body. Everything's up to par.
まあ、問題なんてあるわけないけど。
For now, I want to check the situation. The servant I summoned is Archer. He's a rude guy with no manners to spare for his summoner and master. And on top of that, he doesn't know who he is. Oh, and I'm getting a headache already.
あいつの記憶が戻るまで切り札は封印か。
Servants are powerful familiars on their own, but what makes them the most powerful is the fact that they all have 1 powerful secret move. The problem is, Archer says he can't remember what it is.
まあ、火はこっちにもあるし、なんとかやっていくしかないか。
That's right. As this is how things ended up, we're both on the same boat. I hope he sorts out his memories soon, but with the way he's acting right now, who knows when that'll be? Honestly. Looks like we'll have a load of problems ahead.
あ、見直したかもこれ。
The living room is just the way it was. I only expected to see him clear up the rubble, so I'm moved that he went this far. He's a maid! He must have felt bad about making such a mess in the living room, or he wouldn't have done this. No. He's just like... I don't even know what's up with him. He likes being a housewife. I should call him admirable. Or maybe just a nice guy. I take it back. This shameless attitude! He doesn't deserve any praise at all.
おはよう。そういうあんたは随分とリラックスしてるようね。
何？一晩過ごした部屋だからな。どこに何があるか把握したよ。おう。ついでだから厨房も片付けておいた。もう少し荒れているかと思ったが、なかなか気の行き届いた厨房だ。
I'm getting a headache. Why is my servant checking my cleanliness? I say servants think only of battles, so maybe this guy's broken somehow.
なるほど。本調子ではなさそうだな。昨夜は元気だったが、紅茶でよければご馳走しよう。
So at home in a stranger's house, Archer stands, takes out a new teacup without a moment's confusion, and pours a fine rose-colored tea. There are all sorts of things I want to say, but I surprisingly don't feel like interrupting him. Every aspect of his motion is refined, and you could even say he's beginning to... And you could even say he's being considerate.
まあいいけど、疲れてるのは事実だし。
I take a seat. He hands me the teacup silently, and I take a sip. Oh, it's good. Like, really good. Of course it's an exotic Chinese tea. It's the best part of my favorite leaf, so I'd get mad if it tasted bad. In fact, I get mad when someone uses one of my favorites without permission. Yes. I would get mad, but it's brewed so wonderfully. I'm too happy to complain.
ちょっと、何笑ってるのよ、あんた。
何、感想が聞きたかったが、その顔では聞くまでもないと思っただけだ。
I slammed the cup down onto the table.
もったいない。熱いうちに味わった方がいいぞ。
ごちそうさま。結構よ。私は茶坊主が欲しくて
そうか。確かに私も茶坊主になったり後片付けをするために契約したわけではない。
ええ、私が求めているの、家事をこなすサーバントなんて聞いたことがないし、する必要も特にないわ。
特にはないと。
別に。それより、あなた自分の正体を思い出せた？
Archer shakes his head. I don't know what's wrong with me. I always mispronounce everything, just as I thought. It's pretty bad. If he can't remember it after one night, it's not going to come back easily. Even if we test various things today, this is still...
わかった。あなたの記憶に関してはおいおい対策を考えとく。じゃあ出かける支度をして、あっちゃん。召喚されたばかりで勝手もわからないでしょ。
出かける支度？いや。
あのね、そんな格好で出歩くつもり？どう見ても普通じゃないし、自分から私はマスターですなんて言いふらす気はないんだけど。
ああ、それも問題はない。確かに着替える必要はあるが、サーバントはもともと霊体だ。非戦闘時には霊体になって、
ああ、そっか。召喚されたって英霊は英霊だものね。霊体に肉体を与えるのはマスターの魔力なんだから。
自然。我々も霊体に戻る。そうなったサーバントは守護霊のようなものだ。レイラインで繋がっているマスター以外には最も会話程度はできるから、偵察ならば支障はないが。
便利。それじゃあ本当に他のマスターを探し出すなんて難しい。
ああ。だが魔術師は魔術師を知覚できるだろう。それと同じで サーバントもサーバントを感知できる。
So it's like you think that your servant's invisible, and then all of a sudden, like someone pops up and like hits them, and then all of a sudden they're like there, and they're like, "The enemy is a servant."
優れた魔術を知るサーバントならば、遠く離れたサーバントの位置さえ把握するだろう。
Sorry. I've been silent. Just as Archer says, a master is usually a great magus. A magus with a strong magical energy is sensitive to other magical energy. But as far as I know, no one in this town has magical energy that strong.
で、あんたはどうなの？
マスター、私のクラスは何か忘れたのか？
I guess not. Archer's magical energy isn't that strong. I expect only the servant caster would have enough magical energy to locate enemies from a distance.
わかったわ。じゃあ、とりあえず後についてきて、あーちゃん。
そう目新しいものではなさそうだがね。それよりマスター、君、大切なことを忘れていないか？
え？大切なことって何？
まったく。君、まだ本調子ではないぞ。
Equivalent exchange? No, fundamentally, the reward for a servant is to participate in the Holy Grail War. There shouldn't be any more exchanges necessary.
君な。
Archer says so in surprise. Listening to the sarcastic comment, I realized something. Come to think of it, he hasn't addressed me by name yet. Oh!
しまった。名前。
思い当たったか？まあ、今からでも遅くはないさ。
Archer asks sulkily. Damn it. He is a good person. As there's no mistake. After all, there's no meaning to exchange names. Servant and master have a relationship forced upon them by the command spell. For a contract with a normal familiar, the exchange of names has a great deal of meaning, but no such bond is between the master and the servant. Still, Archer calls it important. It's a proof of trust that he shall be fighting alongside each other, even without a command spell.
私、Tohsaka Rinよ。あなたの好きなように呼んでいいわ。
Or he could just get sick of calling you master and want to call you by your actual name, but whatever. I answer bluntly, unable to be true to my own feelings. I answer bluntly, unable to be true to my feelings. Well, actually, it would probably be easier for me to be addressed in a reserved manner like you or master. And he'll probably call me that. But that said... Archer mutters my name to himself.
それでは、リンと。ああ。この響きは、実に君に似合っている。
He says something outrageous. Outrageous, I tell you.
リン、どうした？
うる
Because
さ
it
い。
is so
いいか
weird
ら
to
さっさ
have
と行く
people
わよ、
call
あ
you
ー
by
ちゃ
your
ん。
own name.
とにかくのんびりしてる暇なんてないんだから。
Then again, in Japan, it is more common to call people you just met by their last name, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I do believe it's more normal. I believe calling people by their actual name rather than their family name is supposed to be a more familiar thing, so it probably is pretty weird to Rin, but whatever. It's not like I like you or anything. BAAAKA! I turn away and start walking. I'm vexed. I don't know why, but I am. Did Archer say that just to make me feel this way?
ありえる。こいつなら絶対そうだ。
Yes, that must be it. So my face getting hot and my heart pounding, they're all part of its plan. Such a dastardly plan. Be careful, Rin. You're gonna have to work with this crooked guy from now on. How shameless. So reacting so much, it's amazing. I go out with Archer. The city we live in, Fuyuki City, can be basically divided into two towns. Here, the place with old houses and traditional buildings is Miyami City. On the other side of the river is Shinto, where modern development is happening. My house is in the older section, Miyama City. Miyama is basically separated into two sections as well. One of the sections, the Western-style houses, immigrants from foreign countries live. On the other side is the Japanese houses, mountain behind it. Both sections top of hill, so you can say both are suburbs. Houses between two sections, relatively ordinary. I don't care about the location. As a demonstration, they're this ordinary. This is the crossroads from Miyami City to the hill leading to the Western-style houses like mine. On the opposite side, hill leads up to the Japanese-style houses. Well, oh my god, this is like reading that one whole chapter of, what was it? Salem's Lot? Yeah, a Salem's Lot, where Stephen King basically gave a description of the whole town. I don't give a damn. I really don't. Big station was built over that side. Rapidly says then, Miyama City and Shinto are the same city. Fuyuki, or winter tree, supposedly comes from the fact that winters are long here. Thinking about it, this place certainly has a long winter. In contrast, though, it's quite warm here in February. Warm here in February here is about as warm as December everywhere else. I bet a few hot springs would turn up if you went digging around. Then again, this half-hearted cold would make a city a poor hot springs resort. Fuyuki City has a friendly winter and a strange climate that enters spring and April with no changes. Shinto is all like this. No, it's in the last 10 years. Big fire. From what I hear, the big fire here 10 years ago pretty much burned down the whole residential district. These buildings were constructed on the land no one lived on anymore. And this is the center of it.
ここがシントの公園よ。これで主だったところは歩いて回ったわけだけど。
I asked Archer, who was standing next to me. I can't see him, of course.
広い公園だ。だというのに人気がないのは。
やっぱりそう見える？まあ、ここはちょっとした曰くがあるから。
I look around the park. A park this big and organized should be a playground for kids, even on weekdays. But there are only a few people here and a desolate feeling runs through the place.
10年前の話よ。この辺り一帯で大きな火事があったんだって。その後町は復興したけど、ここだけはそのままなの。焼け野原になって何もなくなったから公園にしたらしいわ。
Archer says nothing. But even though I can't see him, I can tell that he's feeling something special.
気づいたみたいね。そうよ。ここが前回の聖杯戦争決着の地。私も事情は知らないけど、前回の聖杯戦争はここで終結してそれきり。
なるほど。それでこんなにもここは怨念に満ちているというわけか。サーバントというのは霊体だ。そのあり方は怨念、猛襲に近い。故に同じ無念には敏感なのさ。街中でも濃い場所はあるが。
Archer brings up an unusual term in a monotoneless voice. A motionless voice. Reality marble. One of the magics considered the pinnacle of magi, said to be infinitely close to sorcery. For hundreds of years, a boundary field has been a defensive field that protects magus. Put simply, it's a vicious version of a security system on a house. A boundary field is something applied to an existing area or a building to protect oneself from outside enemies. But it is merely a transformation applied to what already exists. But a reality marble is different. A reality marble is an image that erodes reality. The imagined world of a magus, a boundary field that points over reality by letting a magus's heart take form, that is what we call a reality marble. In other words, it's a large-ranged magic that remakes the world as the magus wishes. So close. I almost had that.
リン、どうした？考え事か？
ううん、ちょっと意外だったから。こういう結界だなんて、アーチャーのくせに珍しい言葉を知ってるなって。
Yeah, it does seem a little odd, Archer. How you know that?
なんだ、知っていてはおかしいか？
だってそうじゃない。こういう結界っていうのは魔術師にとっては禁忌中の禁忌。
Isn't that right? I asked him with my expression. And then I sensed him sighing heavily next to me.
リン、英雄とは剣術、魔術に長けたものを指す。アーチャーだからといって弓しか使えないと思うのは勝手だが、私以外のサーバントに。
Come to think of it, he's right.
わかったわよ。今のは軽率な発言だったわ。
リン、ズバリ言おう。君は優秀だが、それゆえに他人を過小評価する欠点がある。
何気に失礼なこと言うわね、あん
You
た。
just stating the facts, Rain. You gotta grow up. Reform? That's like training bad habits out of a horse.
いや、失礼。別にリンがジャジャ馬だと言ったわけではない。単にイメージ通りの表現を。
What?
なおさら。
My right arm suddenly hurts. But did she actually say out loud that it was like a horse and then he said it was like a horse? Or did she say that in his mind and he read her mind and he's like, I didn't mean to make it sound like you're a horse? Because that is an oddly specific thing to compare to. Whatever. Her right arm's hurting.
リン、
ちょっと黙って、あーちゃん。
The command spell engraved on my right hand is hurting. A small warning, as if to get my attention.
誰かに見られてる。
I extend my consciousness to the surroundings. I roll out the threads of my consciousness and search through the park.
私じゃ見つけられない。あーちゃん、あなたは？
難しいな。私には視線すら感じられん。
ってことは、見てるのはマスターね。
I don't think the scene was ever explained, was it? I don't know who it is, but if Archer can't sense it, it has to be a master. There aren't 7 of us yet, but if we wanted to, we could start the fight at any time. It seems the one watching us wants to battle, but...
レイジはレイジに反応する。マスターであるのなら、誰がマスターであるかは出会えばか。
Sorry, I wasn't watching the 10-minute cutoff. Anyways, let's get back.
ええ。けど、高位の術者なら自分の魔力ぐらい隠し通せる。いくら霊樹同士が反応するって言っても、その霊樹
厄介だな。
でしょうね。まあ、私だって家探しすれば魔力殺しぐらいは見つかるだろうけど。
必要ないと。
そう。だって隠さなければ向こうからやってきてくれるでしょ。
Archer takes a deep breath and goes quiet as if he's shocked.
何よ、自信過剰はいけないって言いたいの？
I ask, remembering our previous conversation, but Archer just says, "That's impossible."
君はそのままが一番強い。小物には。
He says, trying to hold back his laughter. Well, it's not like I like his response. BAAAKA! But we decide to continue walking around town. She's such a tsundere. It is. Such a tsundere. We toured the important places, really digging our observer around. Really dragging our observer around, have dinner along the way, and bring things to a conclusion. We've been walking a lot, and it's now 7. At this time of night, our destination should give us the best view. A strong wind. The tallest building in Shinto. A view from the rooftop of this building is a fitting end for this day.
どう？ここなら見通しがいいでしょ？あ、
将来君と付き合う男に同情するな。
何か言った？あー
Is
ちゃ
that
ん。
supposed to be foreshadowing?
素直な感想を少しと。確かにいい場所だ。初めからここに来れば。
何言ってるのよ。確かに見晴らしはいいけど、ここからわかるのは街の前景だけじゃない。
そうでもないが、アーチャーのクラスは伊達ではないぞ。
そうなの？それじゃあ。
いや、さすがに隣町までは見えない。せいぜい橋あたりまでだな。
嘘。タイルって橋のタイル？
That's very impressive. That's very impressive, especially for me. Like, I have horrible eyesight. My left eye especially, I can barely read anything with my left eye, even with glasses on. That's not just good. His eyesight could match the telescopes if he found these rooftops.
びっくり。あーちゃんって
リン、まさかとは思うが、君、私をバカにしているんじゃないだろうな。
I was not making fun of you. That's a
そんなわ
compliment.
けないでしょ。たださ、あなたってアーチャーって言われには弓使いっぽくないから。
それは問題発言だ。帰ってから追求しよう。
It seems Archer has taken a liking to the view as he falls silent. He's probably working out the town's layout. I can't interrupt while he's surveying the battlefield. I leave Archer's side and move to the edge of the building. All I can see with my eyesight is the lights below this building. Like the headlights of the cars in the street and people going home after work. I can't tell what kinds of cars or what kinds of people they are. I can see them, but still not see them. Just like noticing someone is watching you before, but not being able to see the watcher.
少なくとも神道を根城にしているやつが一人いる。
I strain my eyes and stare below me. There's 7 masters in all. I still don't know who the masters are, nor which servants they command. Right now, I assume all the masters are walking around town collecting information on other masters. Suddenly, I feel someone's eyes on me. There's no reaction from my command spell. I just feel someone's eyes on me.
下？
I look down. There are many people walking around on the road. Among them is a person. One person is looking up at me as if looking up at the moon. I can't tell for sure who it is. I can't tell for sure, but I still know who it is. It's surprising. What's he doing at this kind of time?
リン、敵を見つけたのか？
Archer calls out to me as if sensing my excitement.
別に。ただの知り合い。私たちには関係のない一般人よ。
For now. I answer, unable to hide my irritation, and leave the place where I was standing. There's no way he could have seen me from the ground. He must have been looking up at the building by coincidence. So it doesn't mean I was noticed. But still, I'm angry that I let him see me acting as a magus. Okay. I think I'm gonna stop here. I've been recording for like, what, 30, 35, maybe 40, somewhere from 30 to 40 minutes. I think that's a good episode. So I'm gonna save here. It's not like Rin likes him or anything. BAAAKA. There we go. that oh so famous tsundere line. Anyways, so yeah, I'll try recording more stuff from now on. I promise. I'm really sorry about that horrible month delay. Not just month, like I've been gone for months, several months, and I'm really sorry about that. So I'll try being a better YouTuber. For now though, I am going to leave this here, and I will see y'all later. Bye bye. Snubby Snubby out.